Rama. My name is Claudia Hartman, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. And a little bit about myself is louder. A little bit about myself is that I've been a writer my whole life. I've journaled and written memoirs, and I actually have a professional career in marketing communications. So I've written basically for business application and for my own personal use. And I have felt for a long while that there's been a book inside of me. And I have to be honest, when I actually bid on Tom's course at a silent auction, and I was bidding against my best friend at the time, and we both have really important stories to share, which actually I feel everyone does. But it was destined that I was going to get the winning bid. And I actually asked him if she could come, and she's going to take it at a later time. But it was time for me because I really have been going through a major transformation in my work and in my personal creative expression. But I was skeptical. I'm like, write a book in 3 days? Okay, it takes lifetime sometimes for people to write a book. But what I've experienced in the last few days has been remarkable. I feel like I've been in a crucible of creativity. It's very intense, but being in space with 20 other people who are aligned with the same purpose has just taken a quantum leap in what I've done. I've written a lot on my own, but it's a very solitary experience, and it feels hard sometimes. But somehow in the energy of all of us together, something really magical happened, or has happened, and I actually completed my book. I haven't read it yet, but I feel like whatever I needed to get out was birthed, and like most births, it's not very easy. In fact, I got sick the first day. But that's real, you know, it's just letting all that emotion, all that come out, and I think it's a really special process that Tom creates in the space that he holds.
Thanks, Claudia. I've got one question for you. Since you've done a lot of writing professionally, what would you say the big difference is between that sort of writing and perhaps the Tom Bird type of writing?
Mm-hmm. The first thing that comes to mind is that usually when you're writing in a more professional context, you're really doing left brain writing. It's not inspired writing. It's just coming from a different place and not necessarily from that inner voice. I think that what I got to access in this process with other people, and I'm really a big believer of community, like how we can evolve as human beings is to do it together. And so what occurred for me is I got into, you know, not the editing kind of writing, I just let it flow. He's a taskmaster, there's no question about it. He makes you go through it and push through your barriers. But when we're doing it collectively, in a group, something just happens that I couldn't do on my own. And so I would say the biggest difference is that we're doing it together and that we're coming from a place of just sheer unconditional process and just letting it flow that way.
Sounds good. Thank you, Claudia. Just to clarify and make one point that Claudia mentioned a couple of times, while we're writing the Tom Bird Method way, we do not look at what we're writing. That's all done at the tail end after the book is birthed and we're in our revision phase.
Can't wait to see what I've written. Now to get it published, right?
Absolutely. I'll be working with you in the publishing program.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks. If you could sign the little